Okay, so we're getting started here. There we go. All right, today's going to be a show and tell illustration here. I'm going to explain the continental breakup, the breakup of the continents as it happened, according to the evidence, of course, because you have to go by the evidence. So I have this piece of paper here. This represents, it's going to represent the great unconformity. You don't know what the great unconformity is. Hello, Doki Doki. I'm doing a class now. This is a great unconformity, right? It is, and underneath is a Precambrian. All right, so this is where it got all scratched up, the Earth. This will represent the first layer, okay? On top of that, we have the first layer, first mega sequence, not the first layer, the first mega sequence. And in here you got all kind of little animals of all different kinds, right? You have the shelled animals or whatever. This is the Cambrian, and subsequent. This is the first mega sequence. This is all the layers, which is I guess a quarter mile or half a mile high or whatever it is. First layer, and then we got second layer, which is the second mega sequence. The second mega sequence, and you got all different kind of animals, different ones here. This is not intended to be accurate. It's just a representation, just to show how this fit together. So this is during the flood. This is as the flood happened. The flood is depositing these mega sequences of layers. So you got the animals here. That's the second layer, or mega sequence. This is the third mega sequence. The third one. Well, not the fifth one, the third one. And you got all the other fossils in there. Plants, marine life, all that stuff. And it's all mixed up anyways. It's not necessarily in a particular order other than the seashore is at the bottom. I mean, the seafloor is on the bottom. Everything else is on top. It's the fourth one. You have some more fossils and sediment layers. Fourth mega sequence, right? This is all what happened during the flood. Then you got the fifth mega sequence. This is the fifth one. The fifth mega sequence. You have more fossil animals according to their location as they were buried. Okay, then we got the sixth mega sequence, which we're going to say this is the top surface. This is the what we call a bedrock. So this is the last layer deposited by the global flood, and then there was erosion. So this is the sixth one. We'll call this the sixth one. And so we have the outlines here. We'll just say it's North America. North America. Africa. There's Africa, right in North America. South America. South America. Into Africa. Antarctica. Not necessarily round, but there it is. And then you have India. There's India right there. Not necessarily accurate or anything. Then you have Asia. All of Asia goes all the way around there, all the way to Australia. And then you have Australia down here, this kidney beam shaped, the kidney beam shaped continent. There's Australia. Okay. So then this is the bedrock. And then you got Saudi Arabia here. There's Saudi Arabia there. And so this is the sixth and final mega sequence, which consists, of course, each of these sheets represents multiple sediment layers. So this all happened in the global flood, in the global flood as it happened. And then, of course, there was erosion as the waters fell off the continents. It eroded, and the other sediment layers are all after the global flood. But an interesting thing happened here after the global flood is that there was glacial striations. We have glacial striations here. Let's see if we can see this. South America, Africa, India. See how that fits together? Australia, like that. These are glacial striations all around the South Pole, right? So this is like a seal, a stamp of what occurred after the global flood after the snow fell on the poles, or the South Pole anyways, and made these glacial markings all over. Now, this is real evidence. This is not made up stuff. This is actual evidence in India and everything like that. And of course, today, India is not at the South Pole. India is up on the equator. Equator, right? This line goes through here. That'll be like the equator. As a matter of fact, the equator right here in South America is right there. Africa, the equator is over here somewhere. And Australia didn't go as far as the equator, but it's not too far away either. The equator is up here on Australia. So, well, you have these markings like a stamp, like a seal, stamped on these continents before they broke apart, showing that they were connected to Antarctica. So then what happened? You have all these mega sequences, all these layers. When there was something, whatever happened, whatever caused it to break apart, you had this thing where they broke apart. So all these layers, they broke apart like this. This is going to represent the Mid-Atlantic Ridge breakup right here. It'll go like this around Africa. Africa fits right into the United States. After Florida, and then all the way to Antarctica. So there's the split that happened between, that's the Mid-Atlantic Ridge right there. And this happened, and as it split, all these continents, they went north. So America split away from Antarctica, and it went north. So America was connected here at the South Pole. It went north, right? Because the centrifugal force, it went north. Africa went north too. So Africa and Asia and India, this is not an exact representation. This is just for the sake of illustration. So this is going to be Africa, India, and Asia. They all went north, right? And of course, they separated from each other as they went, because of course, north for Alaska is in a different direction than north for Africa, right? Because it's a globe. So each of these went their own way, and they just separated like that. So that's basically what happened. All these sediment layers, of course, are all connecting, and you have dinosaurs walking between Africa and South America. Their footprints are the same dinosaur prints between Africa and South America. Now they're separated by the Atlantic Ocean. And you have all plant fossils, animal fossils, all going through all these continents between South America, Africa, India, and Australia. You have fossil animals connecting them all because they're all in the same location. They just broke apart and separated from each other. So there you have it. That's basically what happened. And there's at least Doki's going along with my illustration here. So that's basically what happened. It had to have been after because the sediments were deposited first with the fossils and the glacial marking on there, and then they broke apart. When it broke apart, they each went north. They all went north and separated from each other, and that's where you find them today. And you still have all this evidence connecting all the continents. Fossil evidence, sediment. It's the sedimentary evidence too. Of course, the mega sequences. These mega sequences go from one continent to another. They just go from one continent to another, but they're separated by the Atlantic Ocean, and other oceans, whatever oceans there are. So that's about it. That's a simple illustration, and God bless everybody, and take care. Don't want to drag this out too much, but it's just goes to show that it had to have happened in that sequence that I just showed with the sediment layers first, because you have first the unconformity, the great unconformity first, where all this, the Earth just got liquefied. All the sediment layers got liquefied, and then they got redeposited. So they got redeposited in 6 mega sequences. 6 mega sequences on top of each other. And then after that, you have the glaciers that left the markings on top of the bedrock. I got in a discussion with AI one time. I said the glacial markings are on top of the sediment layers, and the AI corrected me and said, no, they're on top of the bedrock. So that's the bedrock. These are these glacial markings on top of the bedrock, because that's where the markings are from the glaciers from when they were still connected to Antarctica. So there's a lot of evidence, and there's more evidence too that I've already presented. And the latest evidence that I found was the dinosaur footprints walking across between Africa and South America. They continue, like as if they were still connected in one of these layers. But that's about it. I guess don't want to drag it on too long. God bless everybody, and take care. And try to do another video sometime, maybe explaining more. Or if anybody has any questions, you can leave it in the comments and stuff, and we'll discuss it. That and the genetic evidence too. I'm willing to discuss that as well, or change my ideas depending on any information that comes up. So God bless everybody. Take care and have a great week.